Hello everyone, and welcome to another oddschecker.com/US preview of a primetime NFL game. My name is Mattek from sportsgrid.com, and I'm here to help you guys take a look at the betting lines available for the Seattle Seahawks at the Philadelphia Eagles. They're playing at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. The Seattle Seahawks, if you go to oddschecker.com/US, you will see they are 6.5 point favorites. You can get them at -250 on the money line. The Eagles are +240 on the money line, and the over-under for this game is 48.5. You can also get some great alternate lines if you go check out oddschecker.com/US for the totals for that game. You can line shop around and get the best prices. So we have, the very high-flying Seattle Seahawks. They are 5th in the NFL in terms of yards per play. The Eagles are 28th in the NFL in yards per play. They have been basically just one of the most painful offenses to watch over the course of the season. The Eagles are also 31st in the NFL in net adjusted yards per passing attempt. They have 14 passing touchdowns and 14 interceptions. The Seahawks are 3rd in the NFL with only 10 games playing behind the Packers and Chiefs, who have already played this week with 30 passing touchdowns, 10 interceptions, which certainly is far higher, than the career average for Russell Wilson, who has been so great in his career at limiting interceptions. Then if we want to take a look at DVOA, Seattle is 6th in the NFL in DVOA. Philadelphia all the way down at 29th in the NFL in DVOA. And, what's interesting is it's really the Eagles' offense that is kind of weighing them down. They are down at 27th in the NFL in offensive, 30th in the NFL in offensive DVOA, which, they have Carson Wentz, right? They have this great quarterback. Why is it that they are struggling so hard on offense? And then the defense actually has been pretty close to league average. They are 13th in the NFL in DVOA. There also is the report that Jalen Hurts is going to be playing more in this game. We've gotten a couple reports out of Philadelphia that he is going to be getting more snaps, that he took first-team reps at quarterback this week. For those of you who don't know, Jalen Hurts was a Heisman Trophy candidate in his final year at Oklahoma after transferring out of Alabama. He is a big-time rushing quarterback, though, so it would definitely be a different look for the Philadelphia offense in this game, and certainly if this game does end up being close, I think it will have a large amount to do with Jalen Hurts. In his final season at Oklahoma, he averaged 5.6 yards per carry on 233 rushing attempts, rushed for 1,300 yards, and had 20 rushing touchdowns, even caught a touchdown when he was at the University of Oklahoma. So that kind of gives you an idea of the style of quarterback that Jalen Hurts is. And, I think that the only reason that this line is under 7 is because Russell Wilson has been quite bad over the last 2 weeks of the season. He had 2 passing touchdowns on 28 passing attempts in the win against Arizona. I think we can say he really was not phenomenal in that game, though. But then the 2 games prior, in the loss to Buffalo and the loss to the Rams, he basically had his worst games of the year, took 11 sacks in those 2 games, had 4 interceptions and 2 passing touchdowns in those games. So maybe there's a little bit of, bias going against the Seahawks here, but also, there's public bias against the Eagles because they've been terrible. So the way that I'm leaning here, actually not leaning, I am definitely betting the Seattle Seahawks -6.5. Also going to be betting them on the money line. Also going to be taking the over on 48.5. You guys know most of the times I just have leans, but I actually think the over here is a pretty solid bet. And I think it really comes down to this. I do not trust the Carson Wentz-led Eagles to move the ball. I do think that if the back door, quote unquote, stays open in this game, that's how they will cover. But this terrible Seahawks passing defense, which is why they are, the Seattle's defense is terrible, right? They've been one of the worst defenses all year, and that's why this line is so close. This is why we're not seeing, a Chiefs-esque line of -9, -8.5 or something like that. But I just don't really know if we can see Carson Wentz attacking the weakness of the Seattle team, which is their passing defense. So we are going to be taking the Seattle Seahawks -6.5, taking them on the money line, taking the over. Everyone make sure to check out oddschecker.com/US for the best available odds, and we will see you back on Thursday night.